Hey everybody, welcome to another video. It's New Comics Day, by the way, and a few things came out. I haven't got some of my subscriptions yet, but I did read online the new Transformers comic from Image as part of the whole EU, the Electron Universe. It's pretty cool. I like it. This is issue 7. No, sorry, issue 8. So 1 through 6, I think, was Johnson's art. Johnson's writing and art. Now Johnson's just writing it, and then there's a new guy. We'll go over the credits here in just a moment, but the new guy started with the last issue in issue 7. So they do like 6, 1 through 6, and they hit a trade. And then they'll do 7 through 12, and they'll hit a trade. And I'm hoping that all 7 through 12 are by this guy, because I really like this guy's artwork. I don't have a problem with the other artwork. I just like this one better. I'm hoping he stays on it for a while, because I really think it's some snazzy stuff. Some people might find these too sketchy or scratchy, but I don't mind that so much. If the artwork is overall good, I can deal with little technique nuances and stuff, or little styles and everything. I mean, I do comic books myself, so I have my own style. Maybe it's not that appealing to some people. So, it is what it is. I'm going to stop, fretting and banging my head against the wall about new comic book artwork. I'm not going to do a comparison in this video, because there's not really much to compare it to. Although I could dig up another Transformers issue, maybe a little bit down the road, like a number 8. Let's do that. I'm gonna dig. I'll probably pause the video and I'll dig up number 8, and we'll do a side-by-side comparison. And we'll take the color away like we did in the other one, and you can see the ink straight up. We'll do that. I'll have to hit pause when I get to that section, just because it takes a few. I don't want to bore you with all the setup. I mean, you saw me kind of do it in the other one, and it's kind of a pain in the neck. All right, let's get into Transformers number 8. Again, spoiler alert. I'm not, like I said, I'm not talking about the story specifically, but there will probably be some pages and some plot points that I'll probably talk about, which might, which are spoilers. So, spoiler alert ahead. Again, this comic came out just today. It dropped. It's New Comics Wednesday. Image usually drops with the Marvel stuff, as opposed to DC dropping yesterday. Again, I got to get to my I'm going to actually coming up, and I'll probably do a video. And I got the new record convention is coming up. They do this every 6 months, actually, but they changed it from my place right around the block to now I go over by the airport, where the Knights of Columbus Hall is, the KFC Hall, and I'm going to go to that Saturday. So I'll probably end up stopping by the comic book. If I'm not broke after that, I'll stop by the comic book shop and pick up my stuff in my box, and I'm going to probably pick up this. I'll probably try to grab 7 too. I'll grab 7 and 8, and then if they have the trade, I may, depending on how much cash I got on me, I may pick up the trade for Transformers. I'm probably going to pick up. It is out, right? I think. Or maybe it's not out yet. You know what? The trade not be yet. Well, that's good. I'll save some money. But I think the 7 should be out. It should still be on the rack on the shelf. So if he has that, I'll pick up that and 8. And then I'll just continue from 7 on with just the regular comics and have them pull them every month. But I had to dig out my RC. This is the Kingdom's RC. Just because she's kind of prominent in this issue, so I figured I'd pull her out. And she'll join us here at the table. Jetfire's still there. Jetfire actually shows up in this too. So I think I don't have Cliff Jumper. But in this Jetfire RC, I don't have Thundercracker. I got Starscream. I don't have Thunder. Of course, Starscream's. Well, spoiler alert. He's not around in this one. I have my Soundwave. I don't have Thundercracker. He came out in a 2-set with Skywarp, and I never ended up getting it. I have Prime, obviously. I got Wheeljack. He's in this. I don't have Ratchet. He's at Meyer, still sitting on the shelf. I was there yesterday. And Ratchet and Brawn are still sitting there. But again, that right there is like 45, yeah, it'd be like $50 for those two. So again, I only have so much money, and I gotta pick my pick and choose what I'm going to spend my money on here. So let's get into the comic. I got it pulled up here on the CBR. So we'll go through it first, and then I'm going to go back if we've got time, if I don't talk forever. Of course, I'm not going to, this won't be a super long video at this point because, like I said, I'm not going to go over it word for word, sorry. But I am going to talk about it a little bit here. Certain parts that I liked better than others. So there's the cover. I believe it's the same artist doing the cover. Yeah, Daniel Warren Johnson's the writer and artist of 1 through 6. He's just writing 7 and 8 so far, and then this, I want to say it's Jorge, I guess that's how you pronounce it. George Jorge Corona, like the beer. I'm assuming that's how you pronounce it. I don't know if the beer's pronounced. That's what I pronounced in the commercial, so. Jorge Corona, I'm assuming. Don't know if he's, obviously he's Latin. I don't know if he's Mexican or if he's from Spain or he's from Puerto Rico. I don't know. I'm not that well versed on my my Latin everything. You know, not just Latin America, but Latin Europe too. And then Mike Spicer, of course, he's done all the colors so far, doing a great job. So that's the cover. That's not RC. That's Alita. I always want to call her Battle Angel Alita. It's Alita, I believe, on the cover. And then, if you remember, while this is going on, there's still the war going on in Cybertron, and then a lot of the other ones, like you'll see in the movie, like Cup, characters like that, they're still on Cybertron at this time, so they're not even to Earth yet. Let's see here. Okay, yeah, again, here we go. It's credits. If you really want to know who Russ Wooten does the letterer, I mean, no offense to Russ Wooten for the job he does, but I mean, it's usually, most people pay attention to the writer and the artist and maybe the colorist. Covers, yeah, these are all the variant covers. If I can help it, I will not buy the variants. I mean, if I buy the variants, that's all they have, I'm going to buy, but I don't care about the variants. It's not that I don't like the art. I just don't have to have 9 copies of the same comic book just to get different covers. I know it's their ploy to make money and whatever, more power to them, but I'm not partaking in that. Great first panel. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I did this when I was reading it, so I might as well do this while we're looking at it, because you can see it better, barring that I don't get in the way there. We can see the panel a little bit better. Again, we're not going to read it, but there's the cool van, the cool custom van with this fantasy painting. I like, yeah, that looks nice. I like that. That's cool. Got RC up on the rock like that. That's pretty neat. I like how obviously simplifies things way back in the background. It's obviously, everything can't be in complete focus, but he has a nice way of, this artist in particular, of doing this. I'm not a big fan of this ... stuff up here. I know it's kind of visual noise to kind of break up some dead spots, and obviously with this lake here, or I'm assuming it's a lake, and then you've got some open sky. Even with the sun in the sunrise here, or sunset, you still got this this break, this stuff here to break up. It's a technique people use. I'm not saying I don't like it 100%, but I understand why they do it. Okay, I gotta say this. The guy's composition, that's a great panel, right? The guy's composition is nice. It's very, dynamic's not the word. I mean, he does have some dynamic panels in this, but, in cinematic isn't really the word either. I don't know how to describe I guess that's somewhat cinematic there. The way he breaks up the panels, though, I like. I really like this Carly character. I like her a lot. But the faces they leave a little bit to be desired. They do the job. They convey. They're very. They're very. stylistic, I guess is the best way to say it. Some people might call this, phoned in, or might too scratchy or whatever. I understand where the person's going with this, as an artist myself, but I necessarily wouldn't go down that route. I would probably, like, her eyes look really good, even though they're really sketchy, but, and she's got a lot of character to her. I mean, he does too, they both do, but I would probably emphasize her eyes a little more. She's got those big, thick, bushy eyebrows. I like thick, bushy eyebrows on a girl, but, she's got that almost Lucy hair. Again, I don't, because he doesn't look overly Caucasian either. Is she Asian? Is he Asian? Are they Latino? I don't know. They don't really explain it, which is fine. I'm wondering what they're going for there. Or they it's just, not, again, it's not woke, because if it was woke, they'd be telling you every 5 seconds what they are and how much, they're oppressed. But this isn't, nobody says anything. This is how you handle, you're not just going to put straight up white people and everything. The way you handle it is you just put them in there, and you don't make a big deal about it, right? You don't sit there and just go off on a tirade or whatever. You just, whatever kind of characters you want to feature, no matter what their nationality is or their color or whatever, just throw in what you want to throw in. And, obviously they're changing this whole reboot all in general by even adding this girl character. I guess you can change Spike from whatever Spike used to be. Seriously, you really want the guy with the hard hat and the work boots, who wears that all the time, to be Spike forever? God. Again, this is very Frank Miller right here. Frank Miller would do stuff like this. Again, that's see, with this nice, whatever this is, in the foreground here, it's dark, and then it lightens up, so you've got these multi-planes. You've got this plane here where the water is. You've got these outcropping of rocks. You get the beach comes up here. You've got them standing there, and they're nice and drawn perfectly in there. You got some dead spaces where he puts the lettering. I mean, this is great composition, in my opinion. It's outstanding. It doesn't everything doesn't have to be jumping off the page. If you look at this, look at Steve Buscema's stuff, or Buscema, or however you pronounce his name. I'll say that every time I say his name. But anyways, look at his artwork. He is dynamic, yes, but he doesn't always have the characters jumping off the page. He does a lot of stuff like this where he's it's a straight-on, not Dutch-angled shot, but he uses foreground images, midground images, background images to his advantage to convey depth. There's more to and that's dynamic. It's more to dynamicism than characters leaping off the page coming at you. This is dynamic. Even for a straight-on shot, that's dynamic. A dynamic can mean a lot of different things. I think people they're thinking it only means one thing. Again, a nice use of silhouettes on the trees. Here with the beach again. She's very appealing. I don't know if it's just because we're little biker shorts and her belly showing or what's going on, but I do like this. I like her Lucy hair, and I do like how he bangs over the eyes, and there doesn't even draw a mouth on her, because you don't really need to, the way it's been done. Remember, the Transformers are the big center point in this. The human story is there because you got to have a human story, but you don't have to hyper focus. Like I said, I would probably spend a little more time on the faces myself, just to kind of, especially the eyes and maybe the mouths, although he's doesn't always draw the mouth. But still, look at those real dark, bottom eyelashes, the bangs over. He's still got a lot of character in her face, in her head in general, without getting super in depth with the eyes. So it still looks good. Remember, I'm looking at this more of a visual storytelling and an art. From my background, looking at this, right? That's why I'm not reading it. I'm not telling you how great the dialogue is, because the dialogue, it's serviceable, right? Like I said, I don't read a comic and go, oh God, I love that dialogue. Sure, that might be a funny joke. Sure, there might be a compelling thing somebody says to drive along the plot. But like I said, comic books are a visual medium, and for me, I'm all about the visual medium. And when I see, I can, you could take this out. You don't even have to tell me what they're saying, right? If I can read the comic without words, and again, I can make up my, I mean, I've read it, so I know what happens, but I mean, I can make up my own, you know, of what's going on in my own imagination, right? Obviously, it's better to read it, but I'm just saying, is if I can do that, if I can already jump into this world and, you know, and be there with the characters without even knowing what they're saying because of my own imagination, I don't need, you know, a lot of dialogue heavy, you know, whatever, you know, exposition, you know, or whatever, you know, it's fine, conversation, whatever, you know, you could tell, you know, but look at the looks on their faces, right? You could tell he's kind of like, you know, basically he's talking about, she's like, you know, I've lost friends, you know, and he's like, yeah, well, I guess you've lost friends too. He's talking about, Bumblebee, you know, blah, 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 so it'll dour, and then she doesn't trust him because he could have killed Megatron and he didn't kill Megatron. Now she's mad at him, and then so she kind of stomps off. Great use of silhouette there. And then, of course, you know, he's down in his dumps. He puts his hands on his shoulder. That's great storytelling. Great storytelling. You know, it just made me think of something. Okay, would you consider Mouse? Now, I don't really like Mouse that much, right? Because I don't really care for the storyline, the subject matter. The art doesn't really appeal to me. But would you consider Mouse, the classic comic, would you consider it's awesome? You know, is it super dynamic? You know, does it have great storytelling? Obviously, yes, it's won awards, right? But it's not super dynamic. It doesn't have characters jumping off the page. It doesn't have to be, you know, over the top, right? This is right here. This right here is good visual storytelling. You know, sure you can say it's subjective, but I mean, if you don't think it is, I don't really think you know what you're talking about. They're back on Cybertron here. I think that, I don't know who this is exactly, who she's carrying, Alita's carrying. I think it's Ultra Magnus? Like, with all his junk stripped off. I don't know who it is. I mean, I remember that part where she finds him. I think it's Ultra Magnus? I can't remember. I'm not sure who it is. Again, great. He loves to do this walking off into the sunset or whatever. You know, walking off into the horizon looks stupid. I mean, I'm not saying he overdoes it, but he does it a lot. It's a trope that he likes to do, and I think it looks nice. Close up on the mouth here. Kill me. It's nice. Alright, now we're back to this Navy ship. Remember, G.I. Joe is not totally formed yet, so this isn't necessarily the flag. It's just a Navy ship. Yeah, it's the USS Henry Harrison, Pacific Ocean. Now, they're supposed to scramble sorties for to fight against, he said, giant robots or whatever. Or robots, yeah. This is what they meant when they said robots. And then, of course, kind of everything goes haywire here. You know, there's Thundercracker, sound waves there. Nice use of the colors, you know, in this contrasting between the purple and the yellow, which are complementing each other, complementary colors. That's nice. I like that. And look at these. You got these guys in the foreground here, these humans. It's all on fire, silhouetted. That just looks nice. It's kind of a cool look. You really see the scale of how big a Transformer is. And he's a Voyager class too, and he's pushing the all these jets off the deck. It's cool. Nice Thundercracker. I like Thundercracker. I mean, I love the jets. I like Skywarp. Obviously, Skywarp's has issues in this comic, but I like Skywarp and Thunder. I like them way better. I don't like Starscream. I mean, he looks cool. I just don't like the character. I'm glad he's not around at the moment. I don't know if he's going to come back, but Soundwave pretty much beat the shit out of him and took over command of the Decepticons. It's this weird moment too where, you know, Thundercrackers, he grabs the captain. Captain tries to shoot him in the head, obviously, to no avail. He's like, hey, I have a family, please don't kill me, type of thing. And then he does it. He lets him go. I pity the fragility of small things, and then he just lets them go. And then these guys all run, and they jump in the lifeboats and abandon ship. And then, so there's I don't know if Thundercracker's going to turn, or you're seeing a different side of Thundercracker, but then Soundwave, who's pretty cold and calculated, obviously, by taking out Starscream without any compunction, that's so nice. I like the line work on these explosions. That's cool, too. Yeah, Soundwave's basically like, well, we can't have any witnesses to this, so we can't let these people live. So he's like, and he just unleashes. There you go. The use of that cool rocket launcher on his shoulder. He just unleashes and just blows everybody out of the water, which is pretty crazy. It's pretty dark. Great establishing shot of the arc there in the mountain. Looks nice. I always just thought that looked cool too. And I really like the arc and that orange metal. It just looks so cool. I don't know. I just like that look to that everything. The old way the cartoon was done. Obviously, the comic book didn't do it. The old comic book didn't do it very much justice, but this comic is sorry. It's the afternoon. I worked all day, and I'm just crashing. I had to get up early too because I had to get my son up for school. But anyways, Wheeljack still got. Well, he gets legs here in a bit, but he's still got the that for now until he can get him fixed. So Skywarp is essentially keeping Teletran 1 alive or working. So they basically harvested Skywarp and they made him part of Teletran 1. So he's still kind of got his spark or his soul or whatever, and then but they don't want to take him out of there because Teletran 1 will just stop functioning. So that's where Skywarp is at the moment. Great. I tell you, she's very appealing. It's just because she has so much leg and stomach going on. She's all leg and midriff. But she grabs a rocket launcher. It's funny. She's like, she wants to kill Skywarp. So she grabs a rocket launcher and she's gonna blow it. And Prime's like, no, don't do this. And she's like, okay. And then she accidentally hits the button. I love that. Like, oh shit! She accidentally fires it. And of course, out of nowhere comes RC, and she stops. She takes one for the team here. It doesn't kill her, but she basically takes one right in the chest, right in the robot boobs, to keep Teletran 1 from getting exploded, as the kids say. Every time I say RC, I'm thinking RC Cola. I don't know. Every time I say that. And then, for some reason, they don't really explain it, but what's his face? Skywarp all of a sudden fixes Wheeljack's legs for some reason. It's weird. She's just. Are we seriously going to have this Optimus teaching moment? Little shit. She needs I think she needs somebody to show her what for. Anyways, nice there. I love the size. Nice use of the sizing, the scale on there. Show you how small she is compared to this. She's like, I don't want to get squished, as she's standing right near their feet. She likes to. She really gets mad a lot. Skulks off. And again, that black splatter. I guess I like it. It's its function. This is cool. I like this. Here's your van life right here. So she's got that cool custom van, and then she's got her, little, whatever, her little cubby, her girl cave, inside the back of her, and then RC pops in. She's like, oh, nice looking van. I'm sorry I blew you up. It was an accident. But that's pretty cool. I like that. This is her place, her only place of safe haven where she goes. And now she's on the run, pretty much. Let's see, where we go. So they have a little chat here. A little girl to a robot girl chat. When they're talking about Optimus, like I said, I'm not going to read the story for you, but and cut back to Thundercracker and Soundwave. They've jumped into the water. They're going down Well, the construction cons are down there. I was reading this, but I kind of missed why they're down there, what they're doing. Oh, they're pulling. Oh, it's the ship. Okay, so they're pulling that ship that they came in off of, that big purple ship. It's in the, that regular one, the Decepticon ship. The Nemesis, that's what they call it. Pulling it, I guess, they're going to pull it out of the water, or they're just pulling it to where they can get into it? I can't remember, but they've got their little base of operations set up now. And then, of course, the Autobots have retaken the Ark, so they've got their little thing. And then got this weird thing where Prime's dreaming, I guess, and he's there with these little kids, and then he kind of like, somebody talks. It's got there's an Optimus bed. That's cool. It's cool. The use of that darkness too. That's cool. I like that. A nice panel there. Very nice panel there. I like that a lot. Like I said, I really, really like this comic. There's Jeff. There's my Jetfire. There's Jetfire there. Jetfire can't transform. He's stuck in robot mode, in vehicle mode. He can't see for some reason. I kind of missed why that is. But he can't see, and then he's like, gets all mad. He's like, "Oh, you guys are just going to keep me around for, to use me how you want." It's just like, what? Okay. And I didn't get that exactly. The little exchange they had here. And he's like, "Don't leave me." And he's like, I can't see. I'm in the dark. And he's like, "I'll sit with you for a while." It's just like, okay. Back underwater, they're still working on this thing. Nice. That's also very nice looking. I love the use of the color, the purples. I said that guy, that Springer guy, or whatever his name is, Jerry Springer. No, Mark Spinder, whatever his name. Spiegelman. I don't know. That guy, the colorist. He does a nice job at the color. Got a lot of pop. Look at that. That's stark. That's almost a true saturated yellow. That's like, if it was on my thing, it would be a 250. That'd be like 255 on the red and 255 on the red. Where RGB? What do I got? Blue, red, yellow. 100% on the yellow, 100% on the yellow, and 0 on everything else. Sorry, my brain's dead. Which is 255. So my I don't know if you do digital art, but the colors, you've got the 3 different, for using RGB, and you've got 255 is like 100% saturated, and then to 0 being black or non-existent. So if you don't want any blue in something, you bring that down to 0. But a lot of these painted on sound effects. I don't always have to have balloon sound effects. I guess painted on is fine too, or just solid sound effect, onomatopoeia. I guess that's fine too. They do a lot of it. I actually, tell you the truth, I don't think they do any balloon sound effect. Oh, there's a balloon sound effect. So that's a balloon sound effect. Meaning he has a black line in it, or an outline. Some people call them outline. I think that's, if you look up fonts will say like the font, and then it'll say if it's an outline font. And then, of course, I guess in the ship, Astro Train, I guess Megatron had locked up Astro Train for some reason, and now he comes out and he's raging, and somebody just grabs Thundercracker's head. One touch Soundwave grabs Thundercracker's head, just puts his thumb right in his mouth, and starts squeezing his head, and then he picks him up, just throws him. And then he goes to kick him and smash. He's just beating the shit out of Thundercracker for some reason. Because he's mad, but it's just funny how he didn't even attempt to touch Soundwave. Because everybody knows Soundwave's badass. That's a great panel. It's also very indicative of the let the slaughter begin in the movie, with Devastator. Devastator. It's nice. That's nice. I like that. I like this a lot. I like how really good use of like a room. I mean, that's a big room. I mean, think about how big those Transformers are. 30 feet tall, 15 foot tall, 12, whatever. They're pretty big. I think Astro Train's probably a good 30 feet tall. The other guys might be about 20 feet tall-ish. And then look how big up the room goes, and it's got a nice, that it's a worm's eye view, a worm standing up at attention, but still, a worm's eye view nonetheless. And the way that it sits back, they've almost got them. They're not right on the horizon line, but they're very close to the horizon line on the perspective, as you can see how the lines are going back down here. And then you get this, you kind of get this, they left so much space above their heads, you just, the scale of the room, that's just cool. I like that a lot. I mean, they seem like they do a lot, but it's pretty neat when they do it. Does Prime's arm look weird to me or something? Is it supposed to be gray? Or did he get it rebuilt? He must have got it rebuilt. Oh, it's right. He gets his arm all mangled in one of the other earlier comics. That's right. So they put his arm back. They just didn't paint it. Sorry, I'm keeping it go off on Carly. It's like the Carly character. Nice profile. I like this. This is cool. You see how big RC's head is, or how big her hand is compared to her. And then, of course, look how small she is compared to Prime. Prime's leader class, so there's Voyager class, warrior class. She's warrior class, or deluxe class if you want to talk about the action figure. There's warrior class, Voyager class, leader class, Titan class, and I think Titan. I think. Jetfire's Titan class. What's the really big one, like Omega Supreme? I want to say Gargantuan, but maybe I'm thinking my Dungeons and Dragons miniatures scaling. Nice. I like that, how it's shot underneath the nose of Jetfire like that. That's cool. I said this person's good. Very good. See, now this is the type of stuff people might think, and there was a couple of panels before, it's too sketchy, it's too scribbly, people think it's phoned in. Well, you got to think how fast you got to draw these comic books, right? And if you're putting in that much time and effort into your composition, which the composition's amazing, you got to look for shorthand ways to get the job done. And a lot of these little think lines in here, I like these little think lines. It's quick, it's sketchy. I mean, I like that kind of drawing. It's got an appeal to it. It's very storyboard-like. I like that. It's essentially what you're reading here is a storyboard. Storyboard with the script slapped on top of it. Again, great use of the colors. Somebody's got a little throat here, and then of course he calls up Cybertron, and look who's on the horn there, Shockwave, and then then you get the to be continued. So I haven't been reading any of these letters pages at all. I don't really care to. I used to back in the day, but I don't really do it now. But no, I think that the comic's great. I think it's a nice follow-up to issue 7. I mean, I think it's great. It hasn't lost its luster. It's made it 6 issues and it's got me intrigued. Now we're on to the second part and second 6 issues of 7 through 12, and so far so good. I mean, I'm intrigued. I love it. It'll be nice to see when they start throwing the the G.I. Joe characters in there, and how they're going to handle that. But it's nice that this is just a rebooting, retelling of the original stories a different way, but that it exists in the world with G.I. Joe, and and they're there, but G.I. Joe's just forming too. So you got like the two of them, little stories, the two different properties, being rebooted and forming back up. A little bit darker spin. Obviously, I think the Transformers is not as dark. I mean, it's got some killing in it. It's got some somewhat grotesque things in it, but by and large, it's still pretty tame. I would say Transformers is like PG-13, and I would say G.I. Joe's more closer to R. Maybe not NC-17, but it's definitely more R. And this is more of a PG-13. like I said, we got one more issue of Cobra Commander coming out. That's will be it for G.I. Joe until June, which will be next month. When we get, we'll get the Scarlet and we'll get Destro. But for now, the G.I. Joe one's almost up, so God, I am just falling asleep. I gotta get something in me to wake me up. Sorry about that. Anyways, yeah, I'll keep making. I'm gonna keep reviewing these comics when I keep getting them. You know, I get the next Cobra Commander, the last Cobra Commander. We'll look through that one as well, and check it out. Like I said, I got to get to my comic shop this weekend and try to get my physical floppies of these. You know, so I can have them for my collection, because I definitely want them. All right, well, tell me what you think. If you're reading this, tell me if you like the comic so far. If you've read this issue already, you know, that's come out today, you know, fill in if I missed something or I'm fuzzy on something, which I'm fuzzy on a few things. You got some enlightenment that you can pass my way. You know, by all means, throw it in the comments. Do you not like this stuff? Do you hate this stuff? Do you still have issues with modern comics? Do you have issues with them rebooting Transformers? I mean, anything, any commentary that you have, throw it in the comments. You know, I read them all. There's a couple of people have sent a couple, and I haven't responded to them yet. But I will in time. Give me time. So if you're watching this and I haven't responded to you, you can always comment again or just prompt me. I'll remember. But I've got YouTube people commenting. I've got my, my other people from my other platforms for my work stuff. They're all, commenting. It's kind of it's almost a job into and of itself. It's just following up with people on stuff. But it's part of the business, I guess. Not obviously, this isn't a business yet because I'm still not monetized. I not really care if I am or am not. It'd be nice when I do. Maybe if I can make $5 a month, that'll be great. But for now, like I said, all my business mind is going into my stuff that is making money. So this stuff is just purely my own, cathartic, because I love to do it. It's just fun. I like to talk to myself for an hour and assume that maybe somebody out there's listening. All right, but I'll let you go. Oh, no, that's right. Was I going to do that? Okay, here's what I'll do. Let me pause this really quick. And then if you don't want to watch the rest of this, don't worry. All I'm going to do is just do a side-by-side comparison of some of the artwork real quick with the number 8 of the original Transformers. So give me a second. I'm going to pull that up. I'm going to hit pause, and I will be right back. All right, I am back. Let me go back over, and I'll switch back to the screen. Okay. Let's see, where am I going to put me? Oops. I'll put me right in the middle. Let's move. I got my screensaver. There might be just too much visual noise in the background. Okay, we'll do that. Oh, what's kind of cool though is that's a classic. That's a classic Transformers cover. I literally remember buying that comic book off the newsstand. Yeah. So, anyways, let's look at the comic side by side. Let's go to our opening page. Let's go to our opening page here. This is the artwork, and this one's done by William Johnson. It's not the same guy, isn't it? Daniel Warren Johnson. Okay, it's not the same guy. But there's Ratchet there. This is a little bit better than the first comic. Again, it's got a little bit of a scratchiness to it. Yeah, when you're drawing these boxy Transformer type characters, you kind of have to, be a little quick and use a lot of shorthand techniques. Very wordy. Jesus, it's very wordy. Yeah, I mean, it's got a very scratchy look to it itself. There we go, there's more of the bots. I mean, like I said, I was going to take the color away. Do we really need to? I mean, you could tell what it's going to look like without the color. There's some Dinobot action there. I mean, obviously some pretty simple colors, so obviously the color in this is a lot more, expressive. But, if you looked at just the art with the use of the, the blacks for the silhouettes and stuff, and to create, depth, obviously they do that in all of this stuff. The Dino Dodos, or the Dinobots. Hey, there's my Dinobots back there. Yeah, I mean, look at see the people. Look at that. That's nice. I gotta say, that is nice. That's nice artwork too. I mean, here's some humans and here's some humans. They clothe their women. It's disgusting. Anyway, sorry, a little Star Trek joke. Anyways, yeah, that looks nice. I mean, that's a nice panel. I think that's nice. That's cool. The guys in the tank. That looks pretty cool. I think this is nice. I think this is nice. I think they're both nice. Do I like one better than the other one? I'm going to say I'm probably still going to skew towards this than this. Although these look nice. It looks very, almost Bill Sienkiewicz-y there. Which I'm not a huge Bill Sienkiewicz fan. I wasn't a big fan of him on New Mutants. This guy's definitely had a way of drawing Megatron. I mean, he's got a very Megatron look. That's a cool face. Again, more humans. That's pretty cool. I like that. I mean, what am I going to say? What do I want to say? I guess these are, again, you're not really comparing apples to apples, but at the same time, you kind of are. If you, like I said, if you took the color away, I find it like, just like the first few issues of this, or the first few issues of this, it's the same characters, they're telling the same story, right? Do you like one person's art over the other one? Like I said, color aside, because obviously you got to give them the benefit of the doubt they couldn't do this kind of color back then. If they could have done this kind of color back then, I think it would be pretty comparable for the most part, give or take, a few little nuances. I think it would be for the most part about the same ish, and that might be what the person's trying to emulate here. The Warhay guy, if that's his name, Mr. Corona and Lime. He's it's probably not very nice, but sorry. I like to crack jokes even if they're at other people's expense. I'll crack jokes on myself at my own expense, so don't worry. I'm right there with you. I just like, see, I mean, I haven't read this issue in a while. Of course, can't have Megatron turn into a gun anymore, but I mean, I love the Dinobots, obviously. They're one of my favorite, this is from the Classics graphic novel, or a trade paperback, but again, I like the story in this. I like the characterization. I mean, obviously RC's not in this, but I like her a lot. I love that. I mean, I love Thundercracker and Soundwave. I mean, I don't know. I guess side by side, what do you think? Tell me your thoughts. You thinking you go for the classics? You hate the original? I mean, try not to make any absolute statements. Oh, it's terrible. It's like, it's not terrible. It's different. And it's whether or not you like it or not. I think that's a very dynamic panel. These guys are jumping off this aircraft carrier, right? It looks pretty dynamic, and they're jumping into the water. I mean, do you see a lot of dynamicism here? I mean, the Dinobots are fighting. You get some icky black ooze here. Clang, you get a few things. I mean, I guess I would say that the action for the most part is comparable. We get to the scene where she shoots the thing. Here's some action. And that's nice. This, again, this looks very European, and that's why I can't speak for certain that the Corona guy's from Spain, but it just seems like he's got more of that sensibility. Although I don't really know. I've seen older art from Mexico, from stuff from like the 70s and 80s. I don't know what they're currently doing down there now. So I don't know if it's just a you know. But what I'm trying to say is this has a very heavy metal European look to it. Very, almost looks. I mean, it's got a little bit of 2000 AD in there. I mean, this has got a nice look to it. I think this is amazing. I personally like this artwork better than this, hands down. All right, sorry. That's all I was going to just touch on that real quick, just to show you. I mean, we kind of went to the end of this one. But again, tell me what you think. If you like one over the other,
Yeah.
Whatever. If you like this, subscribe, all that jazz and everything, and I will see you on the next one. All right, bye-bye.